So guys, a little bit of a different video here. Got some Memorial Day shenanigans. John is going to make a test hit on his bike, and since we really didn't get much of anything the other night at the track, see if we got some stuff figured out. So let's see how this goes. What is up, guys? It's Monday, Memorial Day. We were closed today, so I had some time to go over the car. She checked out healthy. Compression's still great. Draining the oil now, and oil pressure's been holding up great. Oil, looks good. It's methanol, so it always looks brownish, but nothing. Honestly, not that bad, really. So what I'm going to do is, in the next couple days, I'm going to get the new oil in it, get the plugs back in, and then I will install these right here. These are ARP rocker studs. We got 8-point bolts in there now, but I was talking to Reed Sanders from Brown Tilly Racing, and he was telling me that they saw some good gains on the Spintron as far as rigidity and valve train control goes, using studs over bolts. So when it comes to valve train, anything you can do to keep deflection down, the better, because obviously there's a lot of force pushing against that. So I'm going to change those guys, and just because I got them, and see, any little thing helps. We got a small engine here, and it takes a lot of boost to get these guys moving. So there's obviously going to be some stuff going on in the valve train. So if it gains a little bit, that's cool. Looking at the G meter this past weekend, I could have shifted it higher. Only reason I really wasn't because I didn't want to knock tires off on the shift on the surface out there. But the goal was to be at Mooresville this Friday, as long as my schedule allows. And if that's the case, then I'm going to try some things and see if we can pick up some spots, because I feel confident in our ability to gain some in a few places. Update, guys. Yesterday I started putting the studs into the rockers, and what I noticed was this piece right here, the end, it protruded a whole lot into the intake port, and I didn't like that. It's like, I've got a little bitty engine trying to do big boy things, and I am bothered by that. I don't know how much actually restricts flow, but I know it doesn't help it. So what I did was I took one of these guys and just chopped the end of it off, and that right there will keep a lot out of the chamber, or the port I should say, the intake port, and I will feel better about it. And I cannot center this up at all because I don't know how to camera. But anyways, so that's what I did. Now I feel better about this, and I want to put these guys on there. So here we go. As you can see on the intake rockers, I put some Teflon on there like usual, since that is to help the boost from blowing back into the valve covers. And then you'll notice they're a little bit higher on the intake side. What I did was I went ahead and bottomed the nut out, and then when I torque it down with the nut already fully threaded. That way it'll just ensure that we get as minimal protrusion as possible into the intake port. And the exhaust doesn't matter because it doesn't go into the port. So that's how I did all that, and I'll do the passenger side the same way. Alright guys, I did not record anything at the track Friday night. As you know, we were supposed to go to Mooresville 2 weeks ago, got rained out. Car set for 2 weeks, didn't really do anything other than what I showed earlier. Anyways, we went there, and I just didn't record it. We got down there, it was just John and I, a little short-handed. Sammy came along eventually, but I don't know what I thought. When we first got there, it was kind of sketch. Weather was really bad as far as not actually storming, just it was getting dark. Wind came in and got super windy, and I guess it blew the storm around us, which is cool. I'll take that. And then after that, it felt pretty good. But anyways, I'm going to give you a recap of everything. As you saw, we actually made it, through the 60, and that's always what's in my head. We've struggled in the past on subpar surfaces, but we figured out a lot at Shady Side, and now we're trying to apply it and speed it up. The track wasn't, when I say subpar, it just wasn't crazy, which honestly I'm okay with, especially now that I'm learning more. Just before, we always had to go after it so aggressively and so hard that it's we were more prone to spinning, but I like to think we're learning something. But as you saw, made it down the track. Issue is, the top of that track's a little bumpy. So on that pass, I got out there, and I think on that one, the first run I let out like 4.0, I believe, something like that, 4.1. I felt the car start shaking up top, which usually is when you're from what I've noticed, if you start shaking up top, it's because the radial's trying to spin, and you can see it in the drive shaft. In fact, I will show you some of that. But we get out there, car starts shaking a little bit. No big deal. It was a test pass, and it's cool. We made it to the 330 and a little bit, beyond that. So we did our. So what you see here, this solid blue line, that right there is the timer starts after I let off the trans brake button, and this is drive shaft speed. And you can look here, we made the 1-2 shift, and this is the very first run, by the way. We made the 1-2 shift, it looks like around, trying to look at my camera when I tell you this stuff, around 2.8 seconds. With the 389 rear gear and hitting it soft, you can see how we're just hitting it so soft and the converter's just kind of laying over, and then starts accelerating finally. But what you see though, these right here, these are the little spikes. So it had a little spike in drive shaft there, and a little spike there, and you can see I got out of it after that, but it was getting a little jumpy. But that was the first pass right there. First round, we have this really cool car. It's a 1951 Henry J. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna put a little more in it because it's a little bit cooler at this point. Track will be a little more prepared. So put a little more in it. I do the burnout, and I guess that guy had an issue during the burnout, so we ended up getting a buy run essentially. And the car takes it. 60 foot's a smidge better, but that run I let out a little bit sooner because I could feel it start shaking a little earlier that time. And I'm not racing anybody, not a big deal. This right here is the second run. Same thing, that's off the button. You see the converter. This time it wakes up a little bit sooner because we're hitting it harder. Also it shifts sooner because I did bump the shift point back down. Just looking at the G meter, looked like it's unnecessary. But you see here at about 3.2 seconds, we start spiking drive shaft again. And I killed it at 3.8. So, and once again, nobody's racing with me, so there's no reason to keep staying in it there. Next run we have ZZ Top. It's a Bad Mama Jamma. Normally runs Carolina small block boost. It's a fast car. I've heard sometimes, I'm not going to talk about it, but it's a fast car. Top-notch program. I knew he can't run his personal best on that track, but I was like, well, I'm going to turn it up a bit.
Raised the two-step about, I want to say, 300 RPMs, and left on another 4 pounds of boost. You'll notice he without really spooling up, he goes ahead and rolls the beams. He did not need to. His trans brake button didn't hold. I get on the brake. I even bump a little deep by accident, but I kill him on the tree because his car is not ready to go, and I'm sure he's a little out of place. When that stuff happens, it kind of messes up your thought process. So I want a 012 on the light, and I keep in mind I actually have 10 of delay built into the lead just to kind of help with the red lighting and stuff like that, just to be safe. Because different tracks and whatnot, you can actually red light easier. There's some variables there, and the car also does react different when you leave it more power. And the car's not making a good pass. I know I got it. And then at I'll show you the log here. About 2.6 seconds, 2.7 I believe, you'll see the front and rear travel sensor drop. That tells you the chassis has unloaded. At 3.1 seconds, and I ended up getting out of it right after that, you'll see the drive shaft sensor spike. So we know the chassis unloaded, and I tried to stay in it, and it spun, and it made you can't really see it in the video, but you can hear it, or I'm sorry, you can feel it in the car, and it feels a lot more violent. Well, in my head I'm thinking, and it's, as I say a bunch of times, it's crazy what you have time to think about in these short time scenarios. I'm thinking, there's no reason to get back in it. For one, I didn't see Ziff beside me, and two, I'm like, the track was not hold. The track didn't hold it a second ago. It's not going to hold it now that the whole chassis is unsettled, and it's been bumpy all night, so no reason to risk it. Well, he flies past me, and man, was I living at myself. At the same time, I potentially, could have got back in it, had a really bad night. That wouldn't have done anybody any good. So it's probably for the best I got out of it, but you can't help but wonder what if. Ziff ended up getting basically a broke by and a bye run to the finals. So and he raced Jonathan Atkins in the finals, and Jonathan made a good pass earlier that night. But I think that was our race to win after that event, and I screwed it up. So it is what it is. Can't dwell on it, but I'm gonna be mad about it for a while because this is how I work, and I get really mad at myself.
Here is the third run. Same situation. It's our leave there. Now this right here is our lateral G meters. This is our side-to-side movement. And here you got this line. This is our front or rear left shock, and then our front right. What you'll notice, and that's our drive shaft sensor up top. What you'll notice is, see this big dip right here? That's the car making a move. When you look at what follows that dip, you see how the front suspension starts dropping there, and then shortly after that the right starts dropping, and then that was as it spun right here, and it unloaded some more. And so you can see at this point it's kind of erratic over the course of a couple tenths, and then finally I killed it at like 3.17, and made one last move and then calmed down, and then I lost. So as you can see there, that's why I let off. Once again, not happy about it, but that's the game. And I know I made the wiser move. I should have got back into it, but I was just like, man, this thing has not been acting right on the big end all night. And it's a light car, and it's kind of a bumpy track, so that's the issue we're facing. I think next time we go, we might try some different stuff. But that's what we had, all in all. I guess 3 more hits. Old Jasper machine engine still kicking, and and I've already done a health check and all that good stuff, and she's good to go. So we're going to get it out this coming weekend at ZMAX.